What's good, everyone? Welcome back. This is day 16, and we're going to focus on the classic elements of Pilates by looking at some of the exercises that are within the Pilates repertoire, like the 100s, which we visited, and the saw, and several other exercises. There will be some modifications for some of these exercises to make them more accessible, and the idea is that you take these classic movements and use them through any of the other days that you want to revisit or the ones coming up. It also helps you to see the connection between what we have been doing and what we are working towards. So without further ado, all you'll need is your mat and a little bit of space to get started. So let's go into our 100s. We're coming onto our back. Slide your heels into your buttocks. Find that connection with the breath and place your arms down by your side. Engage your core. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, length through the spine, curl up, floating the arms past your hips. And begin to pump the hands 5 times on the inhale and 5 times on the exhale. Be sure to find that stability through the shoulders, the spine, the hips. Maintain that control as you work through those pumps. Beautiful work. Keep going. We have 2 more breaths. And final breath in and out. Slow down, pause, and then roll down through the spine. Extend through the legs, arms overhead. And as you exhale, we're coming into a roll up, peeling the back of the legs off of the ground. Let's start again. We're coming into a roll up, gluing the back of the legs on the ground and then curling up through the spine. This is one of my more challenging movements. So as you roll down, tuck or tilt the hips towards you and roll down through the spine. You might find there's a little bit of momentum that you generate through the arms by swinging them. But the more you can minimize that swing and use the core muscles to roll up, the more progress you're making. Roll down one final time and roll up to come to a seated position. Find length through the spine, relax through the shoulders, and then bring the hands behind the head, interlace the fingers. Glue the back of the legs to the mat. Find length through the spine. We're going into a neck pull. So we're tucking the chin, gently rolling forwards through the crown of the head, the upper spine. Then rolling back up, finding length through the neck and head. The upwards pull through the crown. Tuck the chin, roll the upper spine forwards. You're looking for an open sensation through the back of the neck. Last time. And it's only a gentle pull through the back of the head. Find length through the spine and then float the arms down to the ground. So you're going to take a straddled position. So nice wide setting for your legs and a slight bend in the knees if you want to take a little bit of that pull from the hips. Circle the arms overhead, and as you exhale, forward fold, float the arms down to the ground and reach forward. So I want you to either use the floor for support as you're in your forward fold or extend through the fingertips. And as you inhale, roll up through the spine, find length from the tailbone through the crown of the head and forward fold. Tuck the chin, reaching through the crown and fingertips, gluing the buttocks to the ground, roll up. And one final time. Find that length through the spine as you roll up. Relax through the shoulders, set the hands down. Let's bring the legs together. And we're rolling back down onto the ground, placing the hands down by your side. Palms up, fingertips down lightly. Squeeze the thighs and the feet together. Engage the core, coming into a reverse crunch. So this is going to be one of our modifications for our roll over. So we're lifting through the lower abdomen, pulling the thighs towards the chest. And then if I move my hands out the way, you can see the tailbone lifting and raising up to the roof, squeezing gently, slowly through the core, roll down, toes tap on the ground and lift. So try not to tense or crunch the neck as you curl up into this reverse crunch, and relax the shoulders. Keep the core engaged. So as you roll all the way down, you're not lifting through the lower back. Set the feet down, grab behind the thighs and roll up into a seated position. You're going to come to the top of your mat and feet together, zip the thighs up. You're grabbing behind the thighs for a little bit of comfort, or if you can manage, then bring the hands around the ankles. Roll the shoulders down and away from the ears. And with length through the spine, tilt your hips towards you to engage your core. You're going to feel a slight C curve of the lower back. And then shift onto the tailbone and come off the feet. So we're going to roll like a ball, looking for a nice massage through the entire spine, ensuring that you get this smooth rolling sensation, keeping the core engaged. We'll go for one more, coming back up to a seated position, hold, and then float the feet down to the ground. Roll down through the spine and draw the right knee in, using the left hand to pull the knee to chin. Extend through the opposite leg. Exhale to lift chest into thigh. Deep breath in as you exhale, switch, pull, pull as you pull the thigh into the chest. So double pull. And you're also stretching through the opposite leg, squeezing the tops of the thighs, reaching through the toes. Stay connected with that breath. Last one on both legs. And then pull both thighs in, grab behind the thighs, roll up to a seated position. We're going to take the legs nice and wide, wider than shoulders. We're pulling the thighs into our chest, heels into the buttocks. Tilt the hips to engage the core, roll the shoulders down and away from the ears, shift back onto our tailbone. Bring the legs into tabletop. An option to hold onto the ankles as you fully extend the legs, or hold behind the thighs, okay? Finding a position that works well for you. So open leg rocker, we're rolling back through the spine and forwards, reaching for the tailbone. So we're looking for that tailbone to make connection with the mat, keeping shoulders relaxed, pressing the back of the legs into the palms, coming back up to balance, to hold, bring both legs back into center, and then return the feet to the ground. Taking that nice wide straddled position, find length through the spine and extend the arms. So we're twisting through the torso as we come into saw over to the left, and then reaching through the right arm, opposite toes. Roll up through the spine, twist and reach. So you're reaching for the foot with the opposite arm. So left arm to right foot and vice versa. You're looking for that twisting sensation through the mid spine, and you are folding forwards over that leg as you reach. Last time on each side. Rolling all the way up. Set the hands down. Pull the legs in. So rolling onto our front for a swan prep. And you're bringing your hands beneath the shoulders, forehead on the mat, drawing the shoulders down and away from the ears, pinching your elbows in. Zip the legs up, and then we're grounding the tops of the thighs and feet to the mat. On the exhale, we're lifting, keeping the chin tucked, lifting the head and chest off of the ground as we squeeze into our lower back. Squeeze the glutes also. Keep the tops of the legs glued to the mat, rolling down on the inhale. Exhale, lift. Open the front of the body, chest, shoulders, and abs. Roll down. Roll up. And down. And roll up. One final time. Hold. Relaxing through the shoulders. Slowly roll down to the ground. Flex the feet and slowly push your hands, your hips back to your heels for a gentle child's pose. And then roll up onto all fours. Let's come onto our back. So as we transition onto our back for bicycle, we're laying flat on the ground, knees bent, heels pulled in, and we're going to bring the hands behind the head. Gently interlace the fingers. Take a breath in as you exhale, you're curling up into a crunch and then drawing the left knee in. Extend through the right leg, big stretch, and then twisting towards the left knee that's drawn in. Exhale, switch. You're keeping the backs of the shoulders off of the ground as you switch. Drawing opposite elbow across the body to the knee. Keep the core engaged. Your lower back flat on the ground. And it's only a gentle pull for support on the back of the head. You're keeping the chest elevated by using your abs. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pull both thighs in. Take a deep breath in, exhale. Set the feet down, hip width apart. Relax the spine along the ground. Keep the core engaged. We're going for shoulder bridge. So bring the hands down by our side. And as you exhale, lift hips off of the ground, peeling each section of the spine off of the mat, opening the hips as you lift. Push evenly through both feet. We're going to take the left leg off of the ground, bringing it to tabletop. Hips should remain level. Slowly lower the leg to tap and lift. So push strongly through that grounded foot. Keep the core engaged so the hips remain level and stable. And for 3, 2, last lift, 1. Return foot to the ground and let's change side. So as you lift, keep the hips stable, core engaged, control of the movement. So we're not extending the leg, just lifting the thigh towards the chest and lowering back down to the ground. For 3, 2, 1. Last pull and return foot to the ground. Slowly roll down through the spine. Draw the thighs into the chest and gently decompress the lower back if you feel like it's necessary. And then take both legs down to the ground. So set your hands down beside you, and then with your next breath in, core engage, inhale, lift the legs into tabletop, and then extend up to the sky. So we're keeping the legs glued together, the lower back and the entire spine. You should feel it imprinted into the mats. As you inhale, lower the legs down towards the ground. Exhale to lift. So in your leg lifts, take it as low as you can go while maintaining good core engagement, maintaining that imprint of the spine as it's laying, well, should I say, imprint of the spine as you feel the back pressing downwards into the mat. And let's go for 3, 2, stretch the toes, glue the legs together. Last one. Pull the thighs into the chest. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lift the chest into the thighs, relax the shoulders. And then roll up through the spine and come into a seated position. So we're going into a side laying position now. So we're going to come onto the back edge of our mat, resting our head on our upper arm, and then drawing our knees halfway up the mat towards our chest. Hips and shoulders are stacked, and we're going to take the top thigh up for clamshells. Squeeze the glutes, the upper glutes, but make sure that the hips haven't rolled back. What you'll notice is that the top knee is still hovering over the bottom knee. Slowly float the thigh back down. Exhale to lift and lower. So you got your fingers down for light support, palms up, or you can have hands on the waist for a little bit of physical reference. Ensuring that all the movement happens through the upper thighs, it lifts, and the hips and the lower spine remain neutral. And let's go for 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower down. We're going to transition on to the other side, just to even it out, find balance. So hips, shoulders stacked. Place your hand on your hips or the floor. Separate the top thigh. Exhale through pursed lips to lift and squeeze the upper glutes. Maintain that control, core stability. You always want to maintain that stability through the spine. So you're always setting up by engaging the core through each of these movements to ensure that you've got good alignment. And let's go for 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Bring the thighs together. And then we're coming into a seated position. So we're going for a modified teaser. So for this, we're bringing one leg into tabletop, extending both arms, and we're going to keep the other foot grounded on the floor, nice and long through the spine. And you're rolling down through the spine. Extend the arms overhead, and then we're rolling up back into a seated position. Roll down, keeping the legs absolutely still, but using a core to pull yourself up as much as possible. If you lose it, it's all right. Just find that connection with the breath. Last one. To come back to a seated position. Let's switch side. You notice one side might feel a little bit easier than the other. And this, like the roll up, is a particular challenge for me. So still using that little bit of momentum. Last one. To sit up, return, foot to floor, and then pull the thighs in and let the thighs fall apart and the feet, soles of the feet, meet. So we're just opening the hips. Feel free to bounce the inner thighs a little bit. And then bring the thighs back in, rolling down to the ground for hip twist. We're going to bring the arms out to the side and then bring the legs into tabletop. Back of the arms and shoulders are always glued to the ground. As we twist over to one side, looking over the opposite shoulder, use the core to pull the hips back to center and then change side. So there's a lot of obliques working in here, a lot of abdominal work. Stay connected with the breath. Inhale to pull back to center. Exhale to twist. Keep the shoulders relaxed so you're not pulling through the shoulders. One more each side. Bring it back to center. Take hold behind the thighs and roll up to a seated position. Cross the legs over. So we're going to come onto our front and we're laying on our belly, foreheads down on the ground, extending both arms overhead. Bring the thighs together, feet together. So we're coming into a back extension as such, or Superman as you might know it, lifting both arms off the ground. Thighs are coming off the ground as well. And we're going to swim. So we're kicking alternate leg with alternate arm. Keep the legs nice and straight. You're stretching through the toes, stretching through the fingertips. Shoulders and hips remain stable so we're not twisting. And you're keeping the core engaged. Lift the chest and thighs off of the ground. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower down. Hands either side of your chest. Flex the feet and push chest and hips off of the ground into a plank position from the knees, modified. Toes are staying down on the ground, so you've got a bit more support. Keep the core engaged so you're lifting through the navel into the spine. So here we have a leg pull. Feet hip width apart. Take the right leg back. And as you lift the right leg, squeezing through the glutes and the back of the thighs. Slowly lower down to tap and lift. Keep the core engaged. Hips stable and still. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Return the knee to the ground, change side. Extend through the left leg, core engaged. Lift and squeeze the glutes in the back of the thighs. Push through both arms to keep the chest away from the ground. So you're working your chest and upper back to stabilize as well. For 4, 3, pull 2, and 1. Beautiful work. Let's lift the hips up and back, coming into downward dog. Find some length through the back of the legs for a brief stretch if you should need it. And then set the knees down on the ground and shake out the wrists. Beautiful. We're almost there. You're doing very well, honestly. Doing very well. Let me know in the comments below what you found most challenging during this workout. specifically the exercise that we went through. So we're coming into a kneeling leg raise. So for this, you want to bring your hips over the knees. Extend both arms out to the side. And then we're going to take one leg out to the side. So for this will be the right leg, and then floating the left hand down to the ground, right arm up to the sky. Lift through the right leg and slowly lower down like you're treading on eggshells. Lift, squeeze, and lower. For 3, 2, reaching through that upper arm. Last one, and float down. Float the hands back up, bring the knee in and change side. Float the right hand down. We're going to do the same on the opposite side. Try and keep the hips above the knees, shoulders above the hands. You're working the outside of the glutes as you lift, controlling the leg on the way back down. For 3, 2, last one, squeeze and then lower down to the ground. Bend through the knees and float back up. Roll out the shoulders as you do. Beautiful. So we're actually going to come into a side laying position with our hand placed down. Side bridge modified, you can come onto the forearm if you find that the wrists are quite achy. But for your side bridge, we're taking the top leg and extending it, lifting the hips and bringing the shoulder over the hand. So for support, you can keep the bottom leg bent and down. And as you lower into your bridge, you're lowering the outside of the thigh onto the ground and then lifting to squeeze your lower obliques. Shoulders and hips stacked. Lower down halfway and lift. Really focus on keeping that core engagement, lifting the hips as high as you can. For the final 3, working into the obliques. 2, last 1. Excellent. Come down onto your side. Let's switch over to the opposite side. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale to lift. So even from the forearms, you're only trying to get the outside of the thighs to meet the mat, not the hip bone. And keep the extended leg grounded as we go for the last 3, pushing through the instep of the foot. 2 and 1. Beautiful. Come down. So we're coming onto our back. And for a modified reverse plank, what I want you to do is bring the hands behind you and fingertips facing towards you, gently pushing downwards through the palms. Both knees are bent and feet are pulled in. So we're going for a reverse tabletop here. Engage the core, find length through the spine, gently tuck the chin. On the exhale, lift through the hips, pushing through both feet. And slowly lower down to the ground. So find a height that works for you as you lift and pull the hips as high as you can. Last one. And the next time you lift, we're going to hold and extend through the back of the body, pressing through the arms. And slowly roll down one final time. Excellent work. Shift off the wrists and just take a moment to decompress them. Rolling over onto your belly and down onto the ground. You're going to rest your head on your hand or your forearm. And then you're going to take your free hand and bend through the knee, grab the ankle just above, and you're going to pull as you exhale into your glutes. Take a deep breath in. The next time you breathe out, press your hand into your palm, and press your foot into your palm and pull your chest off of the ground. So we're coming into this kind of half wheel here, stretching back of the thighs, shoulders, and chest as we hold for 5, 4, big push, 3, 2, 1. Slowly return to the ground. Pull the heel into your buttocks to stretch the tops of the thighs. Bring the knees together. And you're pulling the heel into your buttocks. Reconnect with the breath. And release that stretch. Let's change side. Just take a deep breath in, pull your heel into your hips, and as you exhale, press foot or ankle into palm, lift chest and thigh off the ground and hold. Trying to open the chest and shoulders here. For 4, 3, push, 2, 1, and release down to the ground. Pull the heel into your buttocks, stretching the tops of the thigh. Bring the knees together. And the next time you breathe out, release the stretch. Bring the hands beneath the shoulders, flex the feet. We're keeping the knees down on the ground. Squeeze the elbows in. Draw your shoulders away from your ears for a push-up. Exhale, press chest away from the ground. And then lift the knees off of the ground. Walk the hands to feet. Roll up through the spine to stand. And then roll back down as we perform 2 more Pilates push-ups. Walk out into your plank. Drop to the knees, squeeze the elbows in as you bend, chest lowers to ground. Exhale, push chest away from the ground. Through plank, walk the hands back and roll up through the spine. Final one to finish off. You've done well to make it this far. Roll down through the spine and walk back out. Float the knees to the ground. Bend the elbows to lower chest down. Hold halfway. 4, 3, 2, 1. And release all the way down to the ground. Forehead rests on the mat. Gently shake out your hips. And gently shake out the wrists. Hands beneath the shoulders. And then press hips back to heels for child's pose. For one final stretch. Feet flexed or pointed is optional. I want you to relax the wrists, elbows, and shoulders. And then gently circle the hands around by your side. Reach for your feet. You're just taking the pressure off the neck and the head by pulling your tailbone into your heels. And then place the hands beneath your shoulders and gently push yourself up into kneeling position to finish off. Beautiful work. Thank you very much for participating in today, and especially working through all of these exercises within the Pilates repertoire. Worked up a sweat today. Hope you have too. Until the next time, which is tomorrow, day 17, I will see you then. Peace. Have a wonderful day.